Well, it's a little bit after 6:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I realize there might be a few people coming in, but I just want to make sure to respect Chloe's time because Chloe is online. Hi, Chloe. Um, as I get started, I just want to do a quick sound check. You obviously, I think, could hear me, right, Chloe? And you could see the PowerPoint, okay? All right. Looks like we're in good shape then. So tonight's agenda looks like this. Some welcome and introductions. Go over live classroom expectations, due dates, checking in. We'll talk a little bit about DAP, instructional methods, and then you'll have time for questions and answers. So, good evening. Just wanted to go ahead and share a little bit about myself. Um, uh, and then I just want to hear a little bit about each of you guys. Well, since it's Chloe, you're going to hear about me. If you are viewing this online, just make sure to answer where you reside, your name, favorite place you have visited, and why. So sharing a little bit about myself. Right now, I live actually in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I just moved here from Denver last week. Um, I am the director of education for the Head Start program in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. My favorite place to visit is California. I love the ocean. The last time I was in California, my wife and I took our daughter to Disneyland, as you can see in the picture. Um, so yeah, I really love it, and I can't wait to visit there again. We were actually going to go there this year, but with COVID going on, we decided that probably wouldn't be the best thing for our family or the safest. So, yeah, so I just wanted to share a little bit about yourself. If you are viewing this online, making sure that you complete this in paragraph format. So, hi, Chloe. We know who you are. Can you remind me where you live and what your favorite place you have visited is and why? And if you guys hear a lot of mute, um, it's probably because uh, Chloe and some of the people that are online choose to do the chat box instead of talking online. So that's why you might hear some silence as I give time to for my students to actually um, type in their answers, and then I'll share out. So Chloe has said she just moved back to hometown Denver, Colorado. And that's funny that I just moved away from there. Her favorite place to visit, where she has visited, is France because of the landscape, which is beautiful, and the vineyards. Um, thank you for sharing, Chloe. Where did you move from? Ooh, California, LA. Oh, nice. So yeah, it's sure that move was pretty big too. Yeah, a lot of driving. That's for sure. So yeah, thanks, Chloe. Welcome to class. I'm gonna go ahead. Not gonna be a very long live session just because it's just us. I do want to move around through the material. Um, so live classroom expectations. Like I said in the previous uh live session, make sure that you try to attend the live session. If you can't for some reason, I will post the video the next day. If you do the live session and you attend and you interact with me or your students that are here, you will get full credit. And basically, the purpose of the live sessions for open dialogue and questions are encouraged. And like I said, if you can't view the live session, you must complete the live session quiz to earn full credit, and making sure that you answer it in paragraph format. And then you would have to answer any of the questions that I asked during the class, during the presentation, in order to receive the full credit. So if you are viewing this online, making sure that you guys actually do that to your full potential. Due date. So class is going pretty quick. And there are some due dates that I want to touch base on. So, of course, like always, the initial post for this week's discussion is due on 11:59 Central Standard Time on tomorrow, which is September 1st. I don't know why it says August 31st there. Looks like a typo, but it's actually due on September 1st at 11:59 Central Standard Time. And then, as always, like the responses to peers are due on Saturday night, which is September it would be September 5th, I believe. I'm going to double check my calendar just to make sure. Mm, and now I can't pull up my calendar. Yes, it would be September 5th. Yes, thanks, Chloe. Yes, it would be September 5th. So yeah, making sure that you guys get that stuff in, and then obviously all the assignments are due on Sunday, 11th, on the 6th at 11:59 Central Standard Time. The live session quiz, which most of you guys did not attend, so you're gonna have to make sure you get that in. Lesson plan part 3, and then the last day of class. It's pretty important that you know this. It will be on September 18th, which is a Friday. So that's only a couple weeks away. It can throw people off, a lot of students off, because it is a Friday. So just make sure to check your calendar, and please note that I cannot accept any late work after this due date per college policy. So I wanted to move along and talk to you guys. How are things going as we are now a little bit over halfway through the course? What are your reactions to last week's module content? Is there any takeaways that you have learned? Are you guys reading the announcements each week? And are you guys able to view my feedback on your assignments? And do you know your current grade to this point? And also, if you are viewing this online, making sure that you answer each of these questions in a paragraph format when you submit your live session post. So how are things going, Chloe? And as I um, listen, or as I try to hear a response from Chloe, just want to know if you are if you're falling behind anywhere, please reach out to me. I know a lot of you have already with different things that are going on. Um, if you reach out to me, I will never know. And like I said, this last day of class is approaching quickly, so you want to make sure that you don't wait till the last minute to get your stuff done. And getting even a few late assignments in is better than not getting any credit at all for them. So Chloe said that she's doing great through all the modules. The key takeaway from module 3 was the importance of intentional planning. She does read the announcements for each week and is able to view my feedback on assignments, and appreciates all the feedback. I do. Um, I She does know her grade, which is an A. Great, that's great feedback for me to know that as well. Um, Another thing that she said is a takeaway is cooperative planning with other teachers. Yay, I'm glad that is happening. Uh, Glad that you're able to do that. Um, I'm glad that in the midst of your move, Chloe, that you were able to get a lot of this done, and it seems to be looks like it's fairly easy for you to get a lot of your assignments done, which is great. And I don't know if there is I think there might be a midterm survey. If you guys don't mind filling that out, just lets me and the college know how the class is going and everything else. Um, so you guys could fill that out. That would be great. Just so I know and my supervisor knows just how we're doing it with this course and um, everything else that has to be related with grasp. Yes, time management skills are important. That ain't that the truth. Everything seems to be fast paced all the time. And it's hard it's easy to miss something. Yeah, so always look at your guys' calendar when you're doing that. When you're doing your assignments. Um Wanted to jump in with developmentally appropriate practices. So that's my little daughter right there. um Anyways, so we'll review developmentally appropriate practices from last week. There are three developmentally appropriate practice that need to be considered um, when you're planning. The first one is age group, um, meaning does the lesson meet the child or children where they are in their development that is typical for their age. For example, asking 2-year olds to cut paper is not developmentally appropriate because they have not developed the fine motor skills to use scissors. Um, the um, next, there's also individually appropriate practices, which means making sure that the activity that you're doing meets the specific needs and skill set of the child. Um, I included a photo of my daughter in the slide because I'm going to use her as an example. So it is age appropriate for a 4 and 5-year old to cut out simple shapes They might not do it very well, but the fact that they are getting those pincher grasps and doing that is a skill that they need. However, my daughter is developmentally delayed in her fine motor skills and doesn't have this hand strength. So therefore, she does need more one-on-one support to practice cutting. Uh, so basically, this is an example of how an age-appropriate activity can and sometimes needs to be adjusted just to meet the individual development of the child. So I did want to go over the age, individual, and then there's also the culturally appropriate practices, um, which means is really respecting the different cultures and the family backgrounds. For example, some cultures believe not finishing your plate is wasting food and is unacceptable, while other families focus on eating until full. Therefore, a teacher should not force a child to clean their plate, nor rush a child to leave the table before they have finished. It's really important to understand the child's um, age to see if it's appropriate, if they're individually ready, and if it is culturally appropriate too. So always taking those things into consideration is really key when looking at developmentally appropriate practices. The one question I will ask that is not on the screen is if um, when you guys plan, do you guys take into consideration age, uh, culture, and individual when developing a lesson plan? And what do you feel is sometimes a barrier um, when you're trying to plan? It's not on the slide, but it's something that I figure I'd just throw in there. Do you see any barriers when developing a lesson plan? So Chloe has said she always does age and individual, but sometimes struggle with cultural because there could be multiple different cultures in one classroom. Yes, that does happen. I think that um, trying to include each culture can be hard, and focusing just on one culture can lead to another culture being maybe insensitive or sensitive to not being you know focused on. So just really understanding the kids and the families that you work with and including them in each of these things is really key to have a successful classroom. The last thing, like I said, Chloe, we're gonna fly through this just because it's just me and you, so it's gonna be a little bit quicker. The last thing I wanted to talk about tonight is instructional methods. Um, this week, you guys should be reading chapter 4 of your textbook. This chapter will review different instructional techniques. We'll briefly review them here. I guess there are a bunch of them. So we're going to go over Montessori, basically. The Montessori method focuses on self-paced instruction rather than, um, and it also does self-directed learning. Montessori classrooms are typically focused on five main areas of learning, which is practical life, sensory learning, language, mathematics, and cultural or global learning. Um, then you have Reggio Emilia, which is similar to the Montessori in a sense that it teaches that teachers are guides in learning rather than authority figures. However, Reggio Emilia classrooms vary greatly from classroom to classroom, as they are designed around the unique interests of the particular set of students, while Montessori classrooms remain fairly consistent from one classroom to another. Then you also got the direct instruction. Um, this was first introduced to preschool children back in the 60s and places the responsibility on children's academic progress on the teachers. It focuses on mastery of skills rather than development towards mastery. Um, so basically, yeah, basically it just focuses on uh, mastery of the skills rather than the development towards it. And then you have the high scope approach. Basically, this is pretty easy. They focuses on learning through play, um, but also does combine with teacher led and child led activities. The creative curriculum, that is what we use. That's what we use in our old program. This is what I use in my new program too, as well. Basically, it is developed by a Head Start curriculum coordinator. It focuses on a whole child approach to learning through purposeful play that is based on familiar experiences that are pertinent to their everyday lives. There's also the project approach. This is not really a full curriculum model, but it can be combined with other approaches to enhance learning. The project approach basically focuses on specific topics and continues the lesson over a series of days, weeks, or even months. Um, Now, with that, all the different instructional methods that are used out there, the question is, what instruction method do you use in your classroom? And can you please share your answer to this question if you are watching the recording as well in paragraph format when you submit your live session response? So basically, again, what instruction method do you use in your classroom? And is it effective? Uh, and make sure to include that in your discussion response. Um, and if you're not currently working children, which one have you seen done and was it successful? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? So there's some questions that you could answer just to be mindful around the instructional methods. Um, yeah. Uh, what do you use, Chloe? Or what have you seen? So Chloe mainly aligns with her teaching with Montessori method because she went to a Montessori school as a child. She does find it to be effective because children know how they learn best, so observing them during times of play is very helpful to guide further instruction. Nice. Thank you for sharing, Chloe. Um, is there anything that you dislike about Montessori, the Montessori method? And as Chloe types in her answer for me to reply, um, remember to make sure that these are in paragraph format, your answers. Um, and remember that the due date for assignments are Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is September 6th. Mm. So she said maybe one of the drawbacks needs to be combined with other methods that are based more around curriculum planning, such as creative curriculum, because it doesn't give a guide to lesson planning. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, Chloe, uh, with the live session. It was short. I know that's all that we have. If you are viewing this online, make sure to get your responses in. I will be posting this tomorrow, Chloe, if you need it for any reference. Um, and basically, thank you for everything. If you need anything in the meantime, please reach out to me. But that pretty much wraps it up for tonight. So yeah, have a great night, and I'll look forward to um, seeing you next week. Remember, next week it will be on Tuesday. I think it's the 8th. I don't know. Sure. I'm just throwing dates out. 7th. Yeah, it should be the 8th. The 8th is a Tuesday, just because it is Labor Day, I think on the 7th. So we will have our next live session Tuesday. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and stay healthy, stay safe, and have a great night.